You just saw thousands of women and people of color and young people across the country run and win, or run and lose but still make a difference. If you are not sure that you are fit to run for office, just look at the White House. The rules of what we think a politician looks like are thrown out the window. I'm Amanda Litman. I'm the co-founder and executive director of Run for Something. I am also the author of Run for Something, a real talk guide to fixing the system yourself. I wrote this book because everyone and anyone should think about running for office and should have access to the information and the tools they need to do it. If you have never thought about running for office before, the first thing to think about is what problem do you care about solving? Because that's where it all begins. I am running to make it easier to vote, and state legislatures do that. I am running for school board because I'm sick of my school district discriminating against trans kids. I am running for city council because the potholes in my area are driving my commute crazy. Now, if you can clearly articulate that, everything gets easier and your campaign has a clear North Star. You might think I have too many embarrassing photos on social media. Donald Trump is president, nobody cares. Nobody likes the kid that's been dreaming of being president since they were 10 and hasn't had anything interesting ever happen to them or had any fun. That's not like you and like me, that's boring. You might think you can't run for office because it's too expensive. The reality is you don't pay for running for office by yourself, and local offices are affordable. 75% of school board races cost $1,000 or less, 85% cost $5,000 or less. You shouldn't run if you can't win. That is utterly ridiculous. One, we have no idea what's gonna happen on an election day. Maybe your opponent gets indicted, maybe your opponent gets sick, maybe your opponent has some story that drops that means they're totally unelectable. I didn't study political science. Great. The reality is you don't need to be a policy wonk. You don't need to know everything about how to make a law or city zoning or how infrastructure works. What you do need is a passion for solving problems and a willingness to do the work and to learn. Everything else somebody else can teach you. You may not want to run for office because you don't want people blaming you for your town's problems. That's fair, and that is what will happen. My favorite thing to hear from elected officials is I make a decision on a Tuesday, it goes into effect on a Wednesday, and I get yelled about it on a Thursday. People are yelling because it matters to them. If you are thinking about running for office because there's a problem you want to solve, the source of that solution is probably local government. There are more elected offices than there are McDonald's employees in the United States, and most of them, 99%, are not in DC. They're in your neighborhoods, your towns, your cities, your states. So, if you're thinking about running for office, consider school board, or state legislature, or city council, or my personal favorite, library board. 50% of Congress starts as state legislatures, 2/3 of governors have started as state legislators. That's the place where you get the experience to rise up. And you can actually win if you're willing to work hard.